time, there really hadn't been a Syd Jackson before.
Syd Jackson was my childhood hero growing up.
He was fast. He was a beautiful drop kick.
Waiting at home there is Jackson. Jackson runs into a bit of trouble, gets out of trouble. Oh, a long driving drop kick down forward.
There's a lot of things that made him stand out. One was the colour of his skin.
I was brought up here as a 4-year-old at the Rollins Mission with 30 other kids. We spent our time here until we were 16. We were up at 6 every morning and we're on the job. We all had duties to do.
A tough love, if you want to call it that. Sometimes a bit extreme.
It was hard. They were long days. They were young kids. They were away from family and off their country.
You know, in winter time in particular, you're walking out in the dark, usually bare feet, and very cold grass. The one way we found to warm up our feet when you're doing that was just go and stand in a fresh cow pat and that'll warm your feet up.
You could just see a bit of racism now and then when I was a younger guy. Where you sat, where you ate, you'd get noticeably looked at going into restaurants and things. Just subtle things like that.
Racism in those days was more of an accepted thing though as well, because we grew up with it.
I knew I could play football because one football and you got 30 kids trying to get a kick.
He just wanted to be the best on ground at Rollins Mission, and that, I think, created a drive and determination and a motivation to achieve.
In a lovely position, touchdown to Jackson. Jackson speaks for it. Tackled by Cully. Beautiful football, Jackson.
He was sort of dynamic. He was explosive. You can sort of feel these things straight away when you see a guy. And, well, you know, this guy's going to be all right.
Well, Ron Brassie actually came over and watched Syd play. Obviously saw something he wanted.
Crane drives it towards centre half forward. Jackson. Yes! Nobody could have stopped Sydney from getting that.
Carlton was just huge. They were fantastic for me. The names that you had there, they were all champion players, and you had to be reasonably good to get a game, actually.
Syd had quite a bit of support along the way, but mostly it was all due to his ability.
Jackson now, 60 yards out, directly in front, favors a drop kick, it's a ripper!
His evasive skills, his strength around the ball, goal kicking ability, I mean, you name it.
Jackson scoops it up, gets onto the right foot, slams a shot at goal.
I loved playing against Collingwood, Richmond and Essendon, but Collingwood in particular, because the grand final in 1970 was the one particular one I remember. There was 121,000 people there. Prime Minister Menzies was in his Rolls Royce out in the outer field there watching the game as well, so I remember that clearly because he was our #1 ticket holder.
Jackson on left foot stop. Oh, he's got it through. Gallagher, there's a silent.
It's surreal, actually, when you think of where he's come from South Bunbury through to East Perth and then on through to Carlton, a couple of premierships. It's very hard to process as a young person.
I met Syd at a Hall of Fame induction at the West Australian Footy Commission a few years ago, and my wife Janine said to me, "I've never seen you so starstruck about meeting someone in your life." I'm thrilled that Syd's been named the Sir Doug Nicholls honoree this year. I think he's a player who maybe hasn't had the accolades that some others have had.
Lots of challenges and obstacles along the way, but he's managed to face them and overcome them with grace and focus and determination.
He could remember those days where there wasn't too many Aboriginal people playing, and it was people like Syd, Holly and all them who opened up that sort of chapter, I suppose, in the football world.
And now we have people like Eddie Betts, Charlie Cameron, resemblance of Syd's quick, fast and dynamic actions.
Jackson's alone, kick and goal. Beautiful!
Those sorts of skills are very elusive, and I think a lot of our players have got that. That's why they're so good.
He's very proud to represent his club, represent his people, his family and his community.
No, I'm just happy that this is still all being recognised through the Sir Doug Nicholls Round, and just to keep talking about it and bridging the gaps, if there is any still, which there is a little bit of way to go, but I think we've come a long way, so I'm just happy that it's Round going ahead.
There's Jackson. Jackson's got it. He's lining the goals up. He shoots and he's got it.
I feel quite honoured, actually, to be called a brother of Syd. Not only all his achievements and so forth, but he's come back here to Rollins, like I have, to get this place, turn it into a positive place for Aboriginal people.
I'm forever thankful to Syd for bringing football into my life and bringing it to a whole lot of others and bringing so much joy. So given the trials and tribulations of his life and the way he's come through that and dealt with the challenges, and he's such a wonderful person, I think it's a great tribute to him.